That was 30.
Hey guys, Sisley back. Listen, I've got a whole bunch of archived videos that I've been going through, and somehow I forgot about my time in Shippensburg. Listen, we're off to our first quick little hot lap here. It's a small field. I think we have 20 riders, maybe 25. And yeah, you can tell by the sprinkling here, it is a wet one. So, anybody who went out to Shippensburg University and did this race or the horse killer race before, it was a grueling race the day before. Unfortunately, I blew a spoke. Some very nice people at a local bike shop were able to take care of that issue for me, so I was able to race today. And yeah, I was ready to rip. And yeah, we've kind of already gone our first lap here. It's this sideways shaped looking D that yeah, I'm sorry that I'm struggling with the words here, but it's basically just a sloppy wet mess. So basically that hot lap, I think that's our fastest lap for almost the entire day, which is pretty rare. And by now I would have probably cut and edited something else by now, but really this pretty much is going to be the race. So we got a couple guys on the front here, and you'll recognize this kit. The man in front of Blue Mountain Velo here, and Cumberland Collective. I think they showed up with like 7 guys in a field of 20. So it was about to be bananas. So they've taken their poles on the front here, and they try to string it out. And I see the move going up the road. I've got one teammate with me, my homie Mike Jones. Yes, that's his name. And he is keeping up there, and I'm happy that Blue Mountain Velo was able to take a quick pull from me there because I need a little bit of respite. But yeah, we're still flying here. Second lap in, still cooking, and I'm wondering, wow, is my fitness just in the toilet? Am I not going to connect up to this race? Is this over already? I mean, they're already making the final turn here, and I'm still on the straightaway. Unfortunately, I do not have the rear camera, which would have told a totally different perspective of this race. But we're still running and gunning. Like we're literally on the second lap already, and it's been what, 3 minutes? Like that's insane. So I'm now just leapfrogging riders here, just to try to get onto what basically looks like a team pursuit here at the front of the race. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders up there, 6 or 7. And one of those is my teammates. I think we've got at least 2 or 3 more Cumberlands up there. And for those of you who haven't been following the channel, yes, Cumberland Collective, I believe state champ for Cat 3, Andrew Wolf is in that group. Fortunately, I've got a little bit of help here, and he is digging a hole. I am happy for him to dig his hole so I can get up there. Please let me eat off your plate. Thank you. And it looks like we're about to start splintering here. So the break from the break of the break is about to go. And there's Mike, just kind of on the front, willing to work. And here are 2 guys from Cumberland who are just gonna mark that move because they've got a guy that's in the break from the break from the break. It looks like it's 2 of them up there. Apologies, this race was in May, so I'm going off of memory here. That hill was deceptively hard, for the record. I mean, I don't think I go up that hill at any point in under 700 watts. I debated on the opening of this video being like a Jacques Cousteau, Creatures of the Deep kind of opening, but I couldn't find a good intro for it. So I can see the pace is starting to slow down. Finally, like I said, our first lap was apparently just on fire. So I see that the move is kind of up the road. I feel like I've recovered enough. And I want to go play. I'm going to go find them. And here's my friend who helped me bridge up. I let Mike know, like, hey, I've got this. Because I feel like he may have been sitting in that working too much for the rest of the group, seeing as most of Cumberland was kind of on their wheels. And these two start looking at each other. Who wants to jump? Who wants to jump? At this point, like, I'm just kind of slow pedaling here. I'm just happy to finally have somebody to draft off of rather than trying to leapfrog riders. And I believe that's Andrew up there. So we finally caught Andrew. And well, I think everybody's kind of probably gassed at this point, so I put my first dig in to actually try to hurt some other riders. So let's speed this up for a minute. So this is where I decided I want to kind of get on the front and see who wants to push the pace a little bit. And eventually, one rider from Cumberland does make it to my wheel, and we cooperate for the most part. So we're wrapping up the 7th lap here, and when I said that for the most part we were working together, remember, I've got one teammate in the group, and every time we would come up that little kicker, he would get on the front, and then he would just kind of soft pedal a little bit. Now, mind you, like, we're at a slight gradient upwards here. You can see it's just a 1%er, and I'm not really seeing a lot of motivation out of him at this point. And really, I need to kick myself here, because if I had realized what was actually happening and that he had a teammate bridging up, which you would have seen with a back camera,
I acknowledge that mistakes were made here.
A little bit more zealous on this breakaway effort to make sure to make him work a little bit harder to stay on my wheel. All right, guys, so just give me a little bit of a break. Let's just call it a Cat 4 mistake, because there's rider number 1 and rider number 2, both from the same team. So I am now at a distinct disadvantage. And I will spare you the rest of the breakaway section of this race, because there's nothing really too exciting that happens, because we are basically lapping most of the field at this point. So cutting ahead, we're now at about 4 to go here. And the games have already kind of started. We're keeping it relatively fast because we don't want to get caught, but at the same time, you can see the poles are getting a little bit softer by the boys in blue, and it's just good team tactic. My FTP at the time of this race was 352, so they really made me work for it. And it's great that Sauce is telling me that I was performing as a Cat 2, even though I was a Cat 4. But ultimately, you're going to see the outcome of this race is thanks to their excellent team tactics. So let's cut to the finish and see what happens. Okay, so we've made it through turn 1 of Bell Lap. And this is where Cumberland starts to put the hammer down, because, yes, remember, our first lap was still our fastest, so we've been ever so slightly getting slower. And so I realize now what is happening, now that I have tired legs, that we're going to try to lead this out so that whoever's behind me, who's Andrew, who must have the stronger sprint, is going to pop off my wheel. So I realize I got to make it to this corner first. So we have a drag race to this last corner. And again, I wish we had that second camera to show what's going on here, but I am neck and neck right now with his teammate. And I realized, oh no, not with that puddle. I choke and let him take that line first. And now that I have nothing but tired legs, I try to find everything I can here to sprint. And I just get dusted. Guys, great tactics out of Cumberland. I can't be mad. I'm happy I got some points out of this. It was an awesome experience, but could have done with some warmer weather. And hey, listen, till next time.